going to try to take a quick look at the Nzonic clone from Desire eSig. This one is a 1-to-1 clone, all brass, magnetic switch just like the real one. Matter of fact, let me show you a little something real quick. Here's a real one. And there's the brass clone underneath. That's pretty darn close if you ask me. And unlike the EH Pro version, this one is 22 mil and all parts are interchangeable. I can take the reel cap, thread the reel cap on the clones tube, no problem at all. The reel switch, no problem at all. I mean, I don't know whether to be impressed or cry. This what the Nzonic was like one of my first like real love affairs. Well, I wouldn't even say that. It was more like a love-hate relationship with a mod. This is the real one. Is the third real one I've owned. I love it, and then I get an amazing clone, or I find something else I want, and then I sell it, and the moment it's gone, I just miss it. No, well, anyway, back to the clone is, I mean, it feels, you hold it, and it feels similar to what I get from holding an Nzonic, besides the brass feel. I mean, it's function-wise, it's exactly the same. That's the magnetic switch. I mean, same, similar type of setup, though there are some differences. Now, hopefully I can show you real quick without making this video too long. Now you see there, this one, they both have magnets. But as you can see on the real one, the magnet is kind of recessed and you have your silver plated copper here making the contact. Whereas with the clone, the magnets are actually raised a little bit. So it's the magnets making the contact. And this one's a little dirty. I need to clean it because I've been doing some grinding and stuff. As you can see on that one, kind of. I don't know, I wanted to see if that was like a silver plating or a nickel plating on it, which there is either a nickel or silver plating on those magnets. As you can see, I kind of took some of it off. I mean, figured it was only $26, I believe, for this, and you get the tube so you can use an 18650 and a kick. I have had no problem at all fitting any battery addy or anything in or on this mod. 18650 kick, no problem with that tube. Everything seems to work well. Now, when I did receive this, I don't know if they all are like this, but as you can see, the little jewel, matter of fact, yeah, I haven't even showed you the switch yet, but the switch says Mad Mods, has your serial number on it. I kind of did that little mark near the jewel, but you had the jewel. Well, mine, when I originally got mine, it stuck out. It was a sharp little point sticking up. I just took a grinding stone and grinded it down flat because I wasn't able to stand it up. When I first got it, and I put it down, it just wobbled all over the place. Top cap has the sun engraving, similar to a real one, but not quite. If I can find the cap. As you can see, the real one points much sharper and smaller. I mean, the clone isn't bad looking by any means, but that I do kind of like that difference. So anybody out there, just look for that difference to make sure you're not paying real price for a fake device. The pin, the 510 pin on this is, I believe, copper plated brass or something. This one's silver plated copper. And as you can see, there is a size difference. This one is much thicker, but on the inside has a little, probably won't focus. There you go. There's a little nut that you can unscrew, and without unscrewing that pin will not come out. This one, on the other hand, you can push it all the way out if you want. There's nothing holding it in place. It's much thinner. The performance is not bad. But then again, the Nzonics really weren't always the best performers. They performed well. They performed good, but they weren't super great. Like, I get mid 3.9s. I think it was 3.96, I believe it was, under a 0.6 ohm load with a Sony 30 amp at 4.17. I mean, that's not bad by any means, but especially considering its magnets making the contact. But for all brass, I don't think there's any reason that an all brass mod should be getting anything lower than what this got. I really believe they should all be around 4 volts. I mean, it's solid brass. You really can't ask, unless it's all copper, you can't ask for much better conductivity than that. So there's something not quite right. Anyway, the switch on this clone is definitely a much stiffer switch than the real one. This can hold not only its weight, but a full Prometheus clone on top of it. No problem. Terminate anything you put on top of this will hold it. That is pretty stiff switch. It has more throw than the real one. It's not bad by any means, but like I said, it is stiff. The locking ring, it has a reverse locking ring, which works well. It's nice and smooth. All the threads seem to be a little smooth, although at times you do hear some squeaks. I'm hoping that'll break in. This is another one of those, you really can't see in there, but it's like mystery paint over brass, I believe. It's that copper colored sparkly paint crap all over brass. That's another thing I think kind of messing with the conductivity of this mod, which is right around that. There's no reason for it. It's just looks. Just leave it plain brass. It would have done much better. As it is, everything goes together well, completely interchangeable with the real thing. I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. It works well. Haven't had misfires, although besides, I did mention the issue I had with the switch, with the jewel sticking out too far, but again, grinded that down. Issue has been solved. There was another thing I wanted to mention I can't think of at the moment. All kicks fit in perfectly well and fired. Show you 18650 mode. Oh, and I also want to point out, even with a kick and this thing extended all the way, there's no play at all. I mean, this is solid. That's probably one of the most impressive things about this mod. I do wish I had a flat top cap for it, but you know what? I still like the look. It doesn't bother me anyway. I always got a soft spot for the Nzonic. I can always throw this one on there, and it doesn't match, but I could use it. Where can I fire some? Here we go. Trusty Trident. Trident, threads on, no problem. 510 has worked with everything I put on it. Make sure it's unlocked. Fires away. Again, just want to mention that the switch is stiff. I'm hoping with time breaking in, it'll loosen a bit. I mean, I could see some people having a problem with it, to be honest. I mean, if you're using your pinky, it takes a little, if you're using your pinky, especially like this, it takes a little bit of effort. If you hold your mods like that, no problem. If you hold your mod like that or whatever, if you're using the other finger, no problem. It's a little much for pinky though. But there's so much. This is a hard one for me to pass judgment on. The build quality, I think, is pretty good. Besides all that copper colored crap, that really bothers me. I hate that they do that. I mean, the fact that no wobble, that really does impress me. Even with a kick all the way out here, no wobble. It's just solid. This whole thing is just one solid build. Anything that can take 18,650 and a kick, I like. But if you're not willing to take a few negatives and do a couple little things on your own, as much as I love the looks, the build, the fact that it's a dead ringer, I mean, there's few minor things enough to let you know you're not going to get scammed. But man, it's beautiful. It gets it all cleaned up. It looks really nice. But if you're not willing to maybe work, like if yours has the issue with the thing, and grind that down, and even my real Nzonic one, I think, matter of fact, 2 of the 3 had a little crunchiness going on in the switch that had to get broken in over time. This one had the same issue, but I over the owning previous Nzonics, I figured out how to fix that very easily, so I got over that. So unless there's a few minor tweaks, maybe this won't be the mod for you, because in order to get it performing like I believe it should, you do have to put some work into it. Not much, very, very minor stuff. But if you're not willing to, if you expect it to be just pulled out the box and be an Nzonic and work exactly perfectly like an Nzonic, then I'd stay away from this. Not because it's terrible, but it's not. It's going to be a disappointment to you. It's not by any means a bad mod. But if you don't mind tinkering and tweaking stuff, and you do like Nzonics, and don't want to spend the money on the full one, this, like I said, in your hand, this, it feels like an Nzonic. It vapes like an Nzonic. It's compatible with all the Nzonic parts. It just, little tweaking here or there. And I still think, I mean, I took that down, so now it sits, the button's smooth, still a little stiffer than I like, which I plan on trying to work around sometime in the future. And with a little work, this can not only look like this, but I believe it will feel and act exactly like that. The button is not far off. The throw will never be as short as the throw I have on this one. This throw is, it's not even a throw. It's almost like a LCD screen where you just boop, like that is it on this one. There's no movement. Just a little click. This does have throw. So that's my dilemma, though. I love this mod. This is one of still my favorite find. I'm a sucker for an Nzonic, but if you're not willing to put time in, this probably isn't the mod for you. Anybody out there who's handy, though, definitely snatch one of these up. At the price, fact that it's completely compatible. You get both the tubes. You can fit any battery configuration, any addy on here you want, and it all just works. Then snatch one of these up. A little bit of work will pay off big with this one. Hope you guys found some of that interesting. Thank you for watching.